Hello students, welcome to Sreenath. In this video, we are going to discuss this third chapter, which is playing with numbers from CBSE Class 6th Maths. I am Karthik Lune. We are creating videos on all subjects from Class 6 to Class 8. So please do subscribe our channel. Also like and share our videos. Let's begin this video. So, what is our present chapter? The present chapter is playing with numbers. So we are going to learn this chapter. Okay students, so in this present chapter we are basically having nine concepts or topics, what we call it as. So we are going to discuss each topic in detail, and we are going to solve some example problems. Okay students, so and one more thing is students, the exercise problems will not be solved in this present video. If you want the exercises videos to be solved, you have to comment below, so that after we are receiving the enough number of comments, we will surely definitely upload the exercises problems on separate videos students. So in this present video we are going to discuss the concepts and few more examples which are in your textbook. So without wasting time, we will start the video. We are going to have the overview of whole the chapter. After that, we will discuss each topic in detail. So we will start our overview. So basically our chapter is playing with numbers. In this chapter, the first topic or concept we are going to learn is about the factors and multiples. So what are factors and what are multiples? We are going to learn about it. And one more thing, the second topic is the prime and composite numbers. So what are prime numbers and what are composite numbers? Basically, you have learn about natural numbers. We are going to learn about these prime and composite numbers. And the third topic is test for divisibility of numbers. So what is the, basically we are dividing numbers. So there are some tests so that you can easily find which number is divisible by which number. So it is about all those tests. And next topic, fourth topic, is the common factors and common multiples. So what are the common factors and what are the common multiples? And next topic, fifth topic, is the some more divisibility rules, and we are going to discuss some more divisibility rules. And the sixth topic is the prime factorization, and the seventh topic is the highest common factor. What is meant by highest common factor? How we will find highest common factor. And the eighth topic is the lowest common multiple. How we will find lowest common multiple. And the ninth topic is the some problems on HCF and LCM. So all these are the nine topics we are going to learn. That's it. Your chapter will end here. So this is the overall overview of your present chapter students, that is playing with numbers. So our overview is completed. Now we will discuss each topic in detail. So basically it is the introduction part that we won't need it. So we'll start from the first topic. So what is the first topic we are having? That is about factors and multiples. Factors and multiples. So what is meant by what are factors and what are multiples? So there is a definition. A factor of a number is an exact divisor of that number. What does it mean? A factor of a number is an exact divisor of that number. So basically we have know about the divisions. So how we will divide? We call it as the dividend, and we call it as the divisor. And if you do division in this way, and we call it here it as the coefficient. And finally here we will get remainder, here coefficient. Okay, here divisor, here dividend, and finally here we will get remainder. So this is the old process and we know about the divisions. Okay students, so here 4 is the dividend. We are dividing it with 1. So 1 4s are 4. So subtracting 4 minus 4, we are getting 0. So this is the basic division we already know. So basically now a factor of a number, suppose there is a number, let us take that number as the 4. A factor of a number, this is the number, and factor of this number is an exact divisor of that number. So if you want to know what is meant by a factor, the factor must divide the number, then only we say that factor is the factor of that number. So basically if you take 1, If you take 1 is a factor of 4. Why sir? Why 1 is a factor of 4? Why? Because means we can divide 4 with 1. we can divide 4 with 1. So 4 will be cancelled out, or 4 will be divided in 4 times. And 2 is also a factor of 4. Why, sir? Means 2 is dividable with 4, and 4 we can divide 4 with 2. So 2 2s are 4, and it is completely dividable. So we called 1 and 2 as factors of 4. So basically, if you clearly observe this, a factor of a number is an exact divisor. So basically here 2 is an exact divisor. It is completely dividing, and there is no no remainder here. So here the remainder is 0. So what is the definition, or what is the meaning of exact divisor? Complete division means we will get remainder 0. So while doing the division, if you are getting the remainder 0, then we call the divisor as the exact divisor. So if you want a factor of any number, so we have to divide that number with a exact divisor. Then that exact divisor is the factor of that number. Simply, if you want the factor for 4, if you want to find out the factor for 4, so then you have to divide that 4 with an exact divisor, that is the exact divisor, that is 2 or 1 or like that. So by dividing with that exact divisor, we are getting 0. So that is the meaning of exact divisor. So 2 2s are 4, and the remainder is 0. Then that exact divisor, we call that exact divisor as the factor of that number. So here what is the number? The number is 4, and what is the factor? 2 is the 4. So 2 is a factor of 4. Why? Means it is exactly divided in the 4. So factor is nothing but, so finally factor is nothing but exact divisor. Okay students, for example, what are the examples if you want? Suppose if you take 4, so we can divide it with 1, and 4 we can divide it with 2 also. We can divide it with 4 also. So in this case, 1 4s are 4 and remainder is 0. In this case 2 2s are 4, the remainder is 0. In this case 4 1s are 4 and the remainder is 0. But if you want to divide it with 3, in this case what happened? You are getting 3 1s are 3 only, and you are getting remainder 1. Here you are getting remainder 1. Here we are getting remainder equal to 1. So but in all these cases, remainder is 0, students. Remainder is 0. So for that reason, if you are dividing any number with the exact divisor means while dividing it with, you have to get remainder 0. Then we call that exact divisor as the factor. Okay students. So suppose 20, we can divide 20 with 4, and we can divide 20 with 5. 4 5s are 20. Okay students, we can rub it. So if you divide 20 with in this model, 4 5s are 20, and the remainder is 0. So we call this 4. This is the exact divisor, and this exact divisor is the factor. So 4 is the factor. So finally 4 is factor of 20. That is the number. So in this way we can find the factors. So factor means nothing but it must be the exact divisor. And now if you see, this is the factor, and if the divisor, and if you multiply this divisor with the coefficient, what you will get? Multiplying the divisor with coefficient, what you will get? 4 5s are how much? That is 20. That is the number. So that is the main number. So here this is the factor, and this is the factor. This is also the factor. So by using these factors, we can easily divide, we can completely divide it, and we will get the remainder as 0. Okay students, and one more thing is the multiple. What it is? Multiple. So until now we have discussed about a factor. Now we are going to discuss about multiple. What is multiple? What is multiple? So we say that a number is a multiple of each of its factor. So what does it mean? Suppose there is a number. Suppose, for example, take it as 20. That number, suppose we can say that number, what it is, that number is a multiple of each of its factors. So what are the factors for 20? The factors for 20 are 4 into 5. So 4 is a factor, 5 is a factor, 4 is a factor, and 5 is also a factor. Why factor? Why means 4 and 5 are the exact divisors of this number 20, and we are getting remainder 0 in case of dividing with 4 or dividing with 5. So we call 4 and 5 as the factors, students. Okay. And now what is the one more thing means? Basically, if there is any number and that number is a multiple of its factor. Okay students, for example, suppose take 3. Okay students, and write 3 table, that is now multiply it with 1, and next multiply it with 2, and next multiply it with 3, and next multiply it with 4, like that. 3 1s are 3, 3 2s are 6, 3 3s are 9, and 3 4s are what it is? 12. So basically these two are the factors of this number, and the multiple of this number is the 3 and 1. So the multiple, so finally what thing is multiples of any number, or multiple of any number is there. Factors are the multiples of numbers. For suppose if you take this, I will give some more examples. If you take 3 into 5 equal to 15. Okay students, 5 3s are how much? That is 15. We already know it. So basically what is multiple of multiple of 3? I want you this question. What is multiple of 3? Then what is your answer? What is your answer? So the answer is 15 comma 20, 15 comma this is one multiple. What is the? This is the one multiple. So 18, it is also one multiple, and 21, it is also one multiple, and before to it 12 is also multiple, and 9 is also multiple, 3 is also multiple, 6 is also multiple. Sir, why all these are the multiples of 3? Why? Because if you clearly observe, if you want the multiples of 3, these are the multiples of 3, and this is the number. If you multiplying this number with any other number, or like any other number, then we are getting the multiples of this number. Basically multiple of 3 is 3, 6, 9. So basically what are multiples means? Simply you can write the division table or the multiplication table. What does it is? Multiplication table. 3 1s are 3, 3 2s are 6, 3 3s are 9. So all the values you are getting when you are multiplying with 1 2 3 4 and so on are called the multiples. What we call those as multiples. So basically if you want, if I ask you what are the multiples of 4, then how you will say they are 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. Sir, why these are means? This is a 4 equal to 1, 4 2s are 8, 4 3s are 2. Sir, what are those? These are the multiplication table of 4. Then these are all these we call as the multiples of 4. Then I will ask, what are the multiples of 6? Then you say 6, 12, 18, 24, 30. Sir, why sir? Why? Because only this means there are 6 into 1, 6 into 2, 6 into 3, 6 into 4, 6 into 5, like this. Okay students, So all these are the sixth table, and all these are the multiples of, all these we call as the multiples of 6. Okay students, so this is the way of finding the multiple. And one more thing here you have to remember is the, we say that a number is the multiple of each of its factor. So 4 5s are 20, and multiple, what is the multiple of 4? Multiple of 4, what is multiple of 4? Then the answer is 20. Why? Because means if you multiply 4 with 5 you are getting the 20. So what is the multiple of 4 means? The multiple of 4 is 20. So basically this is the number, and this is the multiple, it is the multiple, and these two are the factors. So if you know the factors of any number, and that number, if you want the multiples of that number, and the product of that factors gives the multiple students. That is about the factors and multiples. So we are having some rules here, we have to remember it. 1 is the factor of every number. So if you see 1 is a factor, so if you want to write 7, or if you want to find the factors for 7, so we can write this the 1 into 7, so we can divide it with 1. If you take 18 also, it is also written as 1 into 18, so 18 is divided with 1. Okay students, so we can divide 18 with 1. So basically 1 is a factor of every number. And what is the next thing is, every number is a factor of itself. First thing is 1 is a factor of every number, and second thing is every number is factor of everything. Suppose here 7 is divided by 1, like that answer is 7, and here 18 is divided by 18, that the answer is 1. So here 18 is the factor, here 1 is the factor. So 1 is the factor of every number, and every number is a factor of itself. That's the second thing. If you take anything, any number is divisible by itself. So one more thing is, every factor of a number is an exact divisor of that number. So this is what the definition. So every factor of a number, suppose 18 is a factor of that number, then that is the exact divisor of that number. So this is what we have already discussed here. So previously, and every factor is less than or equal to given number. This is also one thing. So suppose if you take 34, what are the factors for it? They are 1 2 17, like that. So all these are less than the 34. So we can say that every factor is less than or equal to the given number. And one more thing is, number of factors of a given number are finite. So how many factors for suppose for 34 we are getting only 3 factors. So it is a finite number. So for every number we are getting the finite number. Finite number means that the number of factors are countable. So, and one more thing is, every multiple of a number is greater than or equal to that number. So here the case about multiple. So suppose if you take 4, and I want to write the multiples of 4, you can write it as 4 and 8 and 12. And if you observe, all these are the multiples of 4, and all these multiples are greater than or equal to that 4. So every multiple means 4 and 8 of a number, which for now these multiples are for which number? For 4. That is greater than or equal to that number. So all these multiples are greater than this 4. So all these multiples are greater than this 4. All these numbers are greater than this 4. Next thing is, the number of multiples of a given number is infinite. So if you see, basically here the factors are finite, but here the number of multiples of given number is infinite. So suppose, what are the multiples of 4? Then I will ask you, then 4 1s are 4, 4 2s are 8, like that. It will goes on like that. You can write 4 into 100 times, 4 into 1 lakh, 4 into 8, like 4 into 100 times also you can write 400. Like that you can write up so many, you can write so many, so that the multiples will goes on. So multiples are infinite. Okay students, and next thing is, every number is a multiple of itself. So if you see 7, so what is the multiple of 7? You can first write it as the 7 1s are 7. So it is a multiple. So this is the multiple of this number. So every number is a multiple of itself, and the multiples of every number are infinite. Those are about the factors and multiples numbers. And one more thing is, a number for which sum of all its factors is equal to twice the number is called a perfect number. Suppose take a number. Suppose here take a number. What is the number? 28. And what are the factors? Now write the factors. What are the factors for 28? The factors of 6 are, suppose take the number 6. Take the number 6. What are the factors of 6? Those are 1, 2, 3, 6. All these are the factors of this 6 number. What are the sum of these factors? That is 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 6. So what is the value? That is 2 plus 1 3, 2 plus 1 3 plus 6. Say 3 plus 2 6, 6 plus 6, finally 12. Okay students, finally the answer is 12. So the sum of factors is 12. And what you observe that basically the factors of the 6 are 1 2 3 plus 1 2 3 and 6, and the sum of all these numbers, all these factors is the 12. So which is nothing but twice of 6. So basically a number for which sum of all its factor is equal to twice the number. So basically it is the twice the number is called a perfect number. So we call this as the perfect number. Why perfect number? Its factor sum is twice its number. Okay students, one more example. Suppose 23. How we will write it as? That is, what are factors for it? That is, factors of 28 are 1 2 4 7 14 and 28. All these are the factors of 28. So if you add all those 1 plus 2 plus 4 plus 7 plus 14 plus 8 13 plus 28. So sum of all those numbers gives what value? That will gives again the 56. So how we can write it as a 56? That is equal to twice of 28. Okay students, 28 equal to 2 into 56. So if you are writing any number, 56 is equal to twice into 28. So if you write any number, take any number and its factors are the twice of that number, then we call that it is the perfect number. So this is the perfect number. That's it students. And here there is a find the factors of 36. So we have to write the factors of 36. So by which number we can divide 36? We can easily divide with 1. So 1 is a factor, and we can also divide it with 1 itself. So 36 is also factor, and we can also divide it with 2. So 2 is a factor, and we can divide it with 3 also. So 3 is also factor. So 1 into 36 is a factor, 2 into 18 is a factor, 2 is a factor, 1 is a factor, and 3 is a factor, and 4 9 is a 36, 4 is a factor, and 6 is also a factor. So factors of these numbers are, what are those? 1 2 3 4 6 9 12 18 and 25. So 19 and 36. So all these are the factors. 12 is also a factor. So in this way you can find the factors. Okay students, next, write first 5 multiples of 6. So we have to write the multiples for 6. First 5 multiples is basically 6 into 1, it is the 6, 6 into 2, that is the 12, 6 into 3, that is the 18, and 6 into 4, that is 24, 6 into 5, that is 30. So all these are the multiples. All these are the multiples of 6 and first 5 multiples of 6. So in this way you can write. That's it students. We have completed the topic. We have completed the first topic students. Now we will start the second topic. What is second topic? Prime and composite numbers. Okay students. So basically we know how to write factors. What are the factors? So basically for one it is the how many factors this number is having? It is one factor only. For factors of 2 are 1 comma 2, factors of 3 are 1 comma 3, factors of 4 are like that. So if you clearly observe, for one number it is there a number of how many number of factors? There is 1 factor, 2 factor, here it is having 2 factors, it is having 3 factors, it is having 4 factors, like that. So now what are prime numbers? What are prime numbers? So what are primers? The numbers, for numbers which what a factor it is having only one and itself. So if there is any number its factors are 1 and itself, then we call it as the prime numbers. Then what are composite numbers? Composite numbers, so these are having more than two factors. More than two factors. For example, suppose you take 3. What are the factors for 3? Factors for 3. How to write? What are the factors for 3? Factors for 3 are 1 comma 3. So 1 is the common one is the factor of everything, and 3 it is also a factor. So every number has its own number is its factor, and every number has its one as the factor. So it is the basic thing we have learned previously. So if any number, suppose 3, it is having only 1 and 3, and 1 and itself has the factor, so we call it as the prime number. If you take 4, what are the factors for it? It is 1, it is 2, 2 to the 4, so and 4. So if you take here, it is having more than two numbers. Here the number of factors are there are 3 factors, so it is the composite number. So here the number of factors are how much? There are 1 and itself, only 2 factors. Only two number of factors are there here, but here there are 3 number of factors. So if what are prime numbers means, the prime numbers have factors 1 and itself, like that 2 it is having 1 and itself, 5 it is having 1 and 5 that self, and if you take 2 it is also having 1 and 2. If you take 7 it is also having 1 and 7, like that. All these are the prime numbers. And if you take 6 it is having 1 3 2 6, so it is having more than two number of factors, so it is a composite number. So the numbers other than 1 whose only factors are 1 and the number itself, we call it as the prime numbers. Numbers having more than two factors called as the composite numbers. This is what we have learned. So so these are about the prime and composite numbers. Okay students, there is a great mathematician whose name is Eratosthenes. He is given a simple way to find the prime numbers. What is the game? We have to write the numbers from 1 to 10, 100, and you have to round up the 2, which is a prime number. You have so which is 2, and you have to cross all the multiples of it. So what are the multiples of it? That is 2 into 1, 2 into 2, 2 into 3, all the 2, 4, 6, 8, all the multiples. You have to cross all the multiples of it. Again you have to take 3 and you have to circle it, and you have to again cross out all the multiples of it. Again 4 is complete. Again you have to take 5 and you have to cross out all the multiples. Again come to next number 7 and you have to round off it, and you have to multiply all the cross out all the multiples of it. Like that you have to do for all numbers. At the last the encircled or circled numbers are the prime numbers, and the crossed numbers are the composite numbers. Crossed numbers are the composite numbers. So this is the way, by using this process you can easily find prime numbers. Okay students, now what are even numbers? Even numbers and odd numbers. Even numbers and odd numbers. So this is the thing, even number and odd number. So multiples of 2 are even numbers. Rest of numbers are odd. Rest of numbers are odd. So basically, what are the multiples of 2? 2, 4, 6, 8. We know that what is meant by multiples and what are the multiples of 2. Multiples are 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. All these are the even numbers. And remaining what are the numbers? That is the 1, 3, 5. These are the remaining numbers. 7, 9. All these are the odd numbers. So these are the multiples of 2. Multiples of 2 are the even numbers, and the rest of the numbers are the odd numbers. So, and one more thing is, if there is a 2 or 3 digit number like 7, 5, 6, 4, 8, 2, by dividing it with 2 and finally finding that it is divisible with 2 or not, so then it is even number, or otherwise it is not even number. It is a very difficult task. So one more easy method to find even number, odd number is, so if it is having, if we are having 0, 2, 4, 6, 8 in ones place, ones place, then we call it as the even number. We call it as the even number. Otherwise it is odd. So if you are having 0, 2, 4, 6, 8 in the ones place, then we call it as the, suppose there is a number 7, 5, 6, 4, 8, 2. So here it is the ones place, here it is the ones place, it is the A2. So here it is the 2, so it is the even number. Suppose 756, so here it is the ones place, in this one number 6, it is there in the 6, so it is a even number. Suppose 743, so here this is the ones place, and this place here 3, so 3 is not there, so it is odd number. Like that you have to find out easily. And one more thing is 2 is a even number and 2 is also a prime number. So 2 is the smallest prime number which is even. So 2 is the smallest prime number which is even, and every prime number except 2 is odd. If you clearly observe, and every prime number except 2 is odd, only the prime number which is even is 2. All the remaining prime numbers, so what are the remaining prime numbers? Prime numbers are 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, 13. All these are the prime numbers. So all these prime numbers are odd. If you think all these are the odd, this is the odd, so this is only one even. So 2 is the even number and it is the smallest prime number. That's it, students. We have completed the second topic also. Now we will start the third topic. So what is the third topic? That is test for divisibility of numbers. So basically divisibility of numbers. So if I give you a number like 7, 5, 6, 4, 8, I will ask you a question: does it divisible by 2, or does it divisible by 4, or does it divisible by 5, or does it divisible by 7? Then what is your answer? I give you a number and I have asked you a question: does it is divisible by 2, or does it divisible by 4, or does it divisible by 5 or not? Then how can you answer? So by taking this number and trying to do this division with 2, and after that try to doing division with 4, like that, taking 75,648 in this and taking divisions 2, 3s are 6, like that. This process takes very much long time. So if we want to get answer immediately, so by seeing the number we can say that does it is divisible by 2, or it is divisible by 4. It is, sir, it is divisible by, sir, it is divisible by 7, sir, like that. So if you want a small trick, if you want a trick to find whether a number is divisible by 2 or not, whether a number is divisible by 4 or not, whether a number is divisible by 5 or not, whether a number is divisible by 7 or not, like that, if you want to know clear within second the answer, then you have to follow these divisibility rules or the divisibility tests. So what are those tests? Basically, first thing is the divisibility by 10. So if there is any number, and if you want to know, suppose there is any number 7, 5, 6, 4, 8, 0, like that, if you want to know that does it divisible by 10 or not, then what is the test we are having? So if a number has 0 in the ones place, then it is divisible by 10. So what is the rule for it? If you want to know any number is divisible by 10 or not, then what we have to do? We have to see its ones place. In its ones place, if it is having 0, if it is having 0 in ones place there is 0, then it is divisible by 10. Okay, students. So 100, does it divisible by 10? Does it divisible by 10? Yes. Why? In the ones place there is 0. In the ones place there is 0. I have given you 2560. Does it divisible by 10? Yes. Why? Because in the ones place there is 0. In the ones place there is 0. I will give 743. Is it divisible by 10? In the ones place there is no 0. No 0 in the ones place, so not divisible. So if there is any number and in its ones place if there is 0, it is divisible by 10. And what is the divisibility for, so 100, 1000, 3200, all these having in ones place 0, so these are divisible by 10. Next thing is divisibility by 5. So how we can say that a number is divisible by 5? So which is a number which has either 0 or 5 in its ones place is divisible by 5. So if there is any number like that, take 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, if you see that all numbers, all these numbers are divisible by 5. So what is the condition is, take any number like 25 and its ones place we must have either 0 or 5, then they are divisible. So basically 25 is there, so it is divisible by 5. Suppose if there is 28 here, it is not divisible, not divisible. So why not divisible means in the ones place you must have 0 or 5, but it is not the scenario here. And next thing is the 35. Is it divisible by indivisible by it or not? Yes, yes, divisible. Why? In the ones place there is 5, there is 5. And 73, does it divisible? Not. Why it is not divisible with 5? In the ones place there is no 0 or 5, there is no 0 and 5. So this is the divisibility rule for 5. So what is the condition? We must have 0 or 5 in the ones place. Ones place, students. Next, divisibility by 2. So basically if you want to divisible by 2 or 10, we have to have in the ones place you must have 0. If you want divisibility by 5, then in the ones place you must have 0 or 5. If you have to divisible, if you want any number must be divisible by 2, then in the ones place we must have 0 or 2 or 4 or 6 or 8. If any of these numbers are in the ones place, then that number is divisible by 2. And what is the divisibility test for 3? So for that divisibility test for 3 is sum of digits is the multiple of 3. Sum of digits is the multiple of 3. Then only it will it divides with. Suppose if you take 15, so these are the digits. So what is the sum of digits? That is 1 plus 5. So what is the value? That is 6. So this 6 is a multiple of 3. 6 is a multiple of 3. So it is divisible by 3. So finally it is divisible by 3. And if you take 21, sum of the number digits is 2 plus 1, that is equal to 3. So 3 is a multiple of 3. And one more thing is, suppose take 69, does it divisible by 3? For that we have to add the digits, that is 6 plus 9. So what is the value? That is 15. So basically 15 is a multiple of 3. Okay students, so in this way by adding the digits and you are getting some number, and if that number is a multiple of 3, then that number is divisible by 3. Then what is the thing? Divisibility by 6. Next thing is divisibility by 6. If you want any number to be divisible by 6, then it must divisible by both 2 and 3. This is the condition. Suppose take 48. Take 48. Does it divisible by 6 or not? We have to find it. So for that, first what we have to do? We have to try to divide it with 2 and we have to try to divide it with 3. In both the cases, if the answer is yes, so is it divisible with 2? Yes, it is there. 8 in the ones place. So yes, it is divisible. So it is divisible by 3. You have to add it. So 4 plus 8. That gives rise to 12, and 12 is the multiple of, we can write is the 3 into 4. So 12 is the multiple of 3. So it is also yes. So it is divisible by 2. It is divisible by 3. So then hence it is divisible by 6 also. Hence it is divisible by 6 also. For if you want the divisibility for 6, it must have divisible by 2 and 3 also. And what about the divisibility by 4? Now 4, divisibility by 4. If there is any number more than 3 digits, then there is any number more than 3 digits, if you want to divide that number with 4, then what is the condition is last two digits, divisible by 4. Take 2 1 2. What are the last two digits? Those are 1 2. So basically those are divisible by 4 or not? Yes, 4. These are divisible by 4 3s are 12. These are divisible by 4. So hence 2 1 2 is by 4 is divisible. Yes. And one more example. The example given you in your textbook are, what are those? Okay, 3516. We have to check whether it is divisible by 4 or not. So for that, what are the last two digits? That is 16. You have to check it for 4. So finally 4 was the 16. So that is yes. So it is divisible by 4. Then it is divisible by 16 is divisible by 4. So then 3516 is also divisible by 4. Yes, that is the thing. Next, divisibility by 8. For that, a number with 4 or more digits is divisible by 8 if the number found by the last 3 digits is divided by 3. If suppose it is having more than 4 digits, then last 3 digits must divisible by 8. I will give you some example. For example, 9216, 32816, etc. You will find that numbers themselves are divisible by 8. So for example, now take 2105, 2104. So we want to check whether it is divisible by 8 or not. This is the question. So for that, you have to take last 3 digits 104 and you have to find whether it is divisible by 8 or not. So for that, does it is divisible by 8 or not? So for that, you have to do the division. That is 8 ones are 8 and it is having 2 24. How many times it falls? 8 4 8 3s 24. So finally it is divisible. So yes. So last 3 digits are divisible by 8. So hence this is also divisible by 8. So this is the way procedure you have to follow. And divisibility rules for 9. So if the sum of the digits of a number is divisible by 9, then the number itself is divisible by 9. So it is also same for 9. Sum of digits must divided with 9. Then it will be divisible with 9. For example, take 18. And what are the sum of numbers? That is 1 plus 9. That is value is 9. And whether dividing it with yes, it is divisible by it. So 18 is divisible with 9. So it is also yes. And suppose take 45. Does it divisible with 9 or not? This is the question mark we are having. For it, what we have to do? We have to add 4 plus 5 and that becomes 9. And by dividing with, you will get 1. So it is yes. So this is divisible, yes. So in that way you can find the divisibility rules for 9. And now divisibility rules for 11. So for that, sum of numbers or digits, sum of the digits at odd places, at sum of the digits at odd places minus sum of digits at even places. So the result must divisible with 0 or 11. Then finally it is divisible by 11. So for example, we will take some example. If you take 308, so we have to take it from right side. So what are the numbers in the odd places? That is 1 3. So this is the 3 plus 8. And what are the numbers in even places? That is 0. Then finally 3 plus 8, that is 11. And this is the 0. So 11 minus 0 is the 11. And this is 11. So final result is 11. So 11 divided by 11 is possible. We are getting 1. So here it is divisible by yes. So finally it is divisible by 11. Yes. That is the example, students. So in that way we can divide any numbers. So that's all about the third topic, students. Now we will move to the fourth topic. What is the fourth topic? Common factors and common multiples. Common factors. We have already know about factors and multiples. Now common factors and common multiples. So basically what are the factors? Suppose so what are the factors of 4? You can write it is a 1, 2, 4. And what are the factors of 8? You can write factors of 8 as 1, 2, 3, 6, 9 and 18. So if you clearly see 1, 2 are the common in both the factors. So we called 1, 2 are common factors. And now again we take 4 and 18. 4, 18, and again you will write the common multiples of 4. Multiples of 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, like that. And if you again write multiples of 18 as 18, 36, 18 2s are 36, and 18 3s are how much, students? 18 3s how much? 8 3s are 24, 3 1s are 3 plus 2, 54, like that, 54. And again if you go also in extending it to 28, 32, 36, 40, 44, 48, 52, like that. So basically if you see, there are no common factors in these. For example, there are no common multiples here. So now we will take another example. For that we will take another example. So suppose now we will take 3. So now we will take 3 and 5. So what are the multiples of 3? 3, 3 2s are 6, 3 3s are 9, 3 4s are 12, 3 5s are 15, 18, 21, like that. And what are the multiples of 5? That is the 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, like that. If you see, 2 is the common in 2, 15 is the common in both these. So we call that 15 is common multiple of 3 and 5. So here 1, 2 are the common factors of 4 and 18, and here 15 is the common multiple of 3 and 15. So if you take two numbers and if you writing the factors of those numbers, and if there are any factors same in both the numbers, we call those two factors as the common factors. And if you take two numbers and you are writing multiples of those numbers, and if there are any multiples common same in the both numbers, then we say that multiple is the common multiple of both numbers. So this is about common factor and common multiple, students. So now two numbers having only one as a common factor are called co-prime numbers. So basically if you take 4 or 5 any number, what are the factors? That is 1, 4, 8, 2, like that. If you take 1, 5, like that. Okay, I will write you. If you take 4, how can we write it as? 4 can be written as 1, 2, 4, and 5 can be written as 1, 5. So basically two numbers having only one as a common factor are called co-prime numbers. If you see from these, there is only one as the common factor. So what is the common factor is? Here 1 and 2 are the common factors in 4 and 18, but in the 4 and 15 1 is the only common factor. So any two numbers having one as the common factor, 1, here 1 is the common factor, then we call those as we call these as the 4 and 5 as co-prime. We call it as the co-prime. So if anyone has one as the common factor, we call it as the co-prime number, students. That's it. Now we will do some example. Find the common multiples of 3, 4 and 5. There is a number 3 and 4 and 9. We have to find the common multiples. For that, what are the multiples of 3? 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21. What are the multiples of 4? 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, like 9, 18, 27, and next thing is 36, next thing is 45, next thing is 54, like that. If you see there are any common common multiples. If you see, if he goes on increasing it further, it will become 24, 27, 30, 33, 36, 39, 42, 45, like that. And if you also increasing it as the 32, 36, 40, 44, like that. And if you are increasing it further to 63, 72, like that. So if you see, clearly observe, there is 36 in here, there is 36 in here, and there is 36 in here. So 36 is the common multiple. So 36 is the common multiple. And if you see also, you will get 72 and 108 also. Say 72. If you further extend it, you will get 72 here. Further extend here also you will get. So how many times it will go? 72 means 4. How many times it will you get? 4 18s. 4 18s is the 72. And in the 3 table, how many times you are getting the 72? 20. How many times? 24 times. 24 times you will get 72. So 72 is also a common factor, and 108 is also a common factor. So these are the common factors. And in the case of find the common factors of 75, 60 and 210, in this way also same procedure, students. So finally what happens is our fourth topic is completed. Now what we will do, we will go to the fifth topic. So what is this? Some more divisibility rules. So we are going to discuss fifth topic. In that fifth topic we are having some more divisibility rules. So what are the divisibility rules? If a number is divisible by any another number, then it is divisible by each of its factor of that also. Suppose 100 is divisible by 20. Yes, it is divisible. How? 25 is 100. Okay students, 25 is 100. So this 100 is, so what are the factors for 20? Factors for 20 are 4 into 5. Now this 100 is divisible by 20. Now this 100 is divisible by 4, and this 100 is divisible by 5 also. So in this case also you get 25. In this case you are getting 20. So what is the final conclusion? If there is a number, it is divisible by that number, then the factors of that number, that is 4 and 5, these are also divisible by that number. These are also divisible by that number. So that is the thing. And another thing is, suppose there is any number, let me see examples. Suppose 24, where I dividing it 8. So that's 25, 8 3s are 24. So it is divisible. Now what are the factors for 8? Those are factors for 8 are 1, 2, 4, 8. And if you can divide 24 by 1, that is 24. And similarly you can divide 24 by 2, it is 12. And you can divide 24 by 4, that is how many times? 4 4s are 16, 4 7s are 4 8s are. And you can divide 24 by 8 also, that is 3. So so this number, this 29 is dividable with its common factors also. So this is the one thing. Next thing is, if a number is divisible by two co-prime numbers, then it is divisible by their product also. Suppose for example take 20. So it is divisible by 4 and it is divisible by 5, and these two are the co-primes. Co-primes means they are having one as common factor. Okay students. And next, when two co-primes are divisible by this number, then the product of this number, so what is the product of this co-primes? That is 20. So it is also divisible by that number. So 20 divided by 20, we know that is 1. Yes. So if there are two co-primes which are divisible by that number, then the product of those co-primes also divisible that number. So that is the second thing. And what is the next thing? If two given numbers are divisible by a number, then their sum is also divisible by that number. Suppose take if two given numbers, so 16 and and 20. These are the given numbers. If two given numbers, these are the given numbers, are divisible by a number, suppose they are divisible by a number, what is that number? 4 by a number, then their sum is also divisible by that number. So then their sum is also divisible by that number. So what is the sum? That is 36. So we can easily divide 36 by 4. That is how many times? How many times, students? You have to check it how many times it is going to be. That is 9 times. So if there are two numbers and these two numbers are divisible by 4, then the sum of these numbers is also divisible by 4. Next thing, if two given numbers are divisible by a number, then the difference is also divisible by that number. So simple thing is, suppose take 35 and 20. So both are divisible by 5. And again their sum, so difference, which means 35 minus 20, that value is how much? That is 15, which is also divisible by that number, that is 5. So this is 3. So it is yes, proved. That is thing, if there are two numbers which are divisible by one common number, then there is some difference is also divisible by that number. So this is about the fifth topic, students. I have completed it. Now we are going to the sixth topic. What it is? Prime factorization. Prime factorization. So basically 24 is there, and how we can write it as 24 is there, we can write it as 2 into 12. We can write 12 as 2 into 6, and we can write 6 as 2 into 3. So in another way, you can write 24 as the 4, 6, and you can further write factors of it. Again we can write it as the 3 into 8, and again we can write it as the factors of this. So in all these things, what you are doing that, we are writing 24 in different ways. That is 4 into 6, 3 into 8, and 2 into 12. So we call that 24 is factorized. 24 is factorized. Why? Because we are written the factors of those numbers. Okay, students. And finally, if you finally write all the factors of it, you will see all the factors are common, same in all different ways. The factors are same. And what are the only factors are? The only factors are 2 and 3. So on 2 and 3 are the prime numbers. So there are the factors. The factors are only 2 and 3, and those 2 and 3 factors are the prime numbers. So we called it as the prime factorization. Basically, writing 24 equal to 2 into 12, we call it as the factorization, and we are further increasing, or further writing the all basic factors for it. In all the ways you are getting the same factors. And what are the if you see what are the factors, if the factors are prime numbers, then we call it as the prime factorization. 36 can be written as 2 into 18, and 18 can be written as 2 into 9, like that. So the prime factorization of 36 is what? Basically 2 into 2 into 3 into 3. So that is 2 into 2 into 3 into 3. All these are the prime factors. So here 2 and 3 are the prime factors. That's why you can write factors for anything. Suppose 90 can be written as 9 into 10, and again 9 can be written as 3 into 3, and 10 can be written as 10 into 1, students. Like that we can, this is the tree diagram, or the factor tree. We call it as the factor tree. For 90, these are the factors. For 9, these are the factors. So what are the factors? Finally are the 3 into 3 into 10 into 1 are the factors of the 90. Here 3 and 1 are the prime factors, but 10 is not the prime factor, students. Okay, now we'll do some example. So prime factorization of 980. For that, what we will do, first for doing the factorization method, we have to divide 980 with the beginning from starting numbers, that is by 2, 3, 5, 7, like that. First you have to divide it 2, after that 3, 5, like that. We have to do for prime factorization, we have to divide with prime numbers. First you will take 2. So how much it is? 490. 492, 4s are 8, and 9 2s are 18, and 0. Next thing, again if you try, if it is possible with 2, again yes, there is 0. So again 2 2s are 4, and 4 2s are 8, and another thing is 5. And again, if you try, is it possible with 2? No, it is not possible 2. So is it possible 3? Suppose if you add these 5, 4 plus 2 6, 6 plus 5 is 11, which is not divisible by 3, so it is not with 3. Next thing is 5, so it is, there is 5, we can divisible with 3, so there is 4 and 9. So next thing, if you can divide it with 5, not possible, but you can divide it with 7, so that is 7, 7s are 5. Again you can divide it with 7, so like that. So we call it as 2 into 2 into 5 into 7 into 7. All these are called the prime factorization. We call it as the prime factorization. So we are finding the factors in terms of prime numbers. So that is the prime factorization, students. That's it, students. We have completed the 6th topic also. Now we are going to start the 7th topic, that is HCF, highest common factor. Basically we know what is the factor is, and we know what is the CF, common factor is. Now we are going to find the highest common factor. It's very simple, students. The highest common factor of 2 or more given numbers is the highest of their common factors. So highest of common factors is HCF only. So suppose, for example, take 20 and 28. What are the factors for it? Factors for it is 4 into 5. Again we write it as the 2 into 2. And for that, how can we write it as? We can write it as 4 into how many times? 4 5s are 20, 4 6 4 7s, 4 7. Again you can write it as 2 into 2. And take another number, that is 36. How can we write it as? That is in the 4th table, we can write it as the 9, we can write it as the 2 into 2, and we can write it as the 3 into 3. So in all the cases, what are the factors? 2 is the common factor, 2 is the common factor. So these are the common factors. So we can multiply 2 into 2 as 4. The highest of the common factors is 4. So we call it as the highest. The common factor is 4, and the only one, the common factor is 1, that is 2 into 2. So that is the 4, and that is the only one here. So the highest common factor is 4 itself. So that's it for highest common factor, students. You can simply find it. So if you want to find out the highest common factor for anything like here they are given some, that is suppose for 30, 42. What are the factors for it? That we can write it as 3 into 10. We can write it as 10 into 1. For this, what are the 42? For 42, it is divisible by 3. In how many times? 3. 3 tens are 30, and 3 14s are, and we can write it as the 2 7s. Okay, students, if you see in both cases, the common factor is 3 itself only. Okay, students, or otherwise we can write it as the 15 2s. Again it will becomes into 3 into 5. So 2 3 5 are the common factors, and here also 2 and 3. Suppose we can, if you write it in another way, which means if you write 30 as 2 into 15 and 15 as 3 into 5, then what are the common factors? 2 and 3 are the common factors. So what is the highest of 2 and 3? That is 3. So highest common factor is 3. Like that, students. 2 into 3. So that topic also completed, students. Now we will come into the 8th topic, that is least common multiple, LCM. We will very frequently use in higher classes. LCM, least common multiple. So which is also simple, students. Basically we know about common multiple, we know about multiple, and we know about common multiple also. Now we are going to find the least common multiple, which means finding common multiples and finding the least of the common multiples. Okay, for example, so find the LCM of 12 and 18. So 12 and 18. So we have to find out the LCM for 12 and 18. So what are the multiples for it? 12, 24, 36, 48, after that 60, after that 72, like that. And what are the multiples for it? That is 18, 18 2s are 36, and after that what are the multiples? 18 3s are how much? That is almost 18 3s are how much? 18 3s are 8 3s are 24, 3 1s are 3 plus 2 5, 54, and after that 18 fours how much? 18 fours, that is 8 fours are 32, 4 ones are 4 plus 3 72. So like that. So if you see 70 to 70 is the common and 36 is the common. So this is the common multiple, this is the common multiple, this is the common multiple, this is the common multiple. So finally now we will write common multiples of 12 and 18 are, what are the common multiples? That is 36, 72. So these are the common multiples. Now least common multiple is what? So these are the common multiples, and among these which is the least one? This is the least one. So least common multiple is 36. So this is the process. This is we call as the least common multiple, students. And what is the another way is there is an example for 12 and 18. They have find out least common multiple as this the 36, and another what is the another way to find out is the LCM of the two numbers is the product of the LCM of the two numbers is the product of the prime factors counted the maximum number of times they occur in any of the number of ways. Thus in the case LCM is 2 into 2 into 3 into 3, that is equal to 36, students. So the prime factor, one thing is finding the LCM in this way, and another thing is the finding the prime factorization. Suppose if you want to find the prime factorization for 12, that will becomes first starting with 2 2 6 the 12s, and again it does it also with 2 3s, and next thing is 3 1s. So what is the prime factorization for 12? That is equal to, for 12 that is 12 equal to 2 into 3. Then if you want to prime factorings for 18, that is 2 9 times and 3 3 times. So for 18 the prime factorization 2 into 3 into 3. So after finding the prime factorization, in the prime factorization the number of the what is the way finding LCM is we have to find the prime factorization, and after finding the prime factorization the maximum number of times the factor 3 occurs is 2. So what is the thing you have to do? We have to find out the prime factorization, and if you see what are the common multiples, the common things are the 2 and 3 are the 2 and 3 are the prime numbers in this, and 2 is repeated twice, so we have to take it 2 times, and here 3 is repeated twice and we have to take 3 twice times. So this is the final LCM. So LCM is the product of the, what is the LCM of the two numbers is the product of the prime factors. So these are the prime factors, and product of the prime factors counted the maximum number of times they occur. So how we have to count there, that how many maximum times they have occurred? Basically 2 and 3 are the prime numbers, and 2 have occurred 2 times, so we have to take it 3. 2 and 3 has occurred in this exam, in this number it is repeat 3 times, so we have to take it 3 times. So finally what is the number? That is a 36. So that is the LCM of those numbers. So in this way you can find the LCM, students. And then there is another example, the LCM for 20 25 and 30. So we have to find prime factorization. This is the another way. For that you have to take you first start with 2 3 5 7 like that. That is our first start with 2, and if you take, and if there at least one number is divisible by 2, you can use it 2, and 2 10s are 20 25, 2 15s are 30. So this and these are divisible by 2, and this is not divisible by 2, so we have to write it as like that. You have to just write it as like that. After that again see the numbers, and again if there any single number divided with 2, then you have to do division with that number. So 10 is divisible by 2, so we have again taken 2, and 5 to 10, and you have to write remaining numbers as it is. Now and again you have to see that any number is divisible by 2, there is no number divisible by 2, then you have to shift to 3, and is there any number divisible by 3? Yes, 25 and as 15 is divisible by 3, so you have to write these numbers as it is, and you have to divide with the 5. And next again see, is there any number divisible by 3? No. Then what you have to next shift to the next number, that is 5. Any number divisible by 5? Yes, all numbers are divisible by 5. Now do the division with 5 ones are 5, 5 is 25, 5 ones are 5. Again see if there is any number divisible by 5. Yes, 5 is divisible by 5. You have to write 1 and 1 as 7 and 5 as the like that. So after that what we will get, and simply LCM is nothing but these things, that is 2 2 3 5 5. So 2 into 2 into 3 into 5 into 5, it is the LCM, students. So it is the another way, simplest way. in first way we have to write the LCM of 2 and you have to find out the prime factorization, and in the prime factorization you have to multiply the product of the prime numbers taking maximum at a times. That is the one thing. Or you have to write the common multiples, and then the common multiples you have to take the least common multiple. This is the one method, and this is the third method, students. In 3 methods you can find the LCM of any numbers. We have completed 8th topic also, students. Finally we have come across with the 9th topic. So here some problems of HCF and LCM. So there are some problems we are going to discuss about it. So basically what is the first? There are two kerosene tankers. Their capacity is 850 and 680 liters. This is 850 and this is 680 liters of kerosene oil. Okay, and now find the maximum capacity of a container. So we have to, there is a container and we have to find out the maximum capacity of that container. For which find the maximum capacity of a container which can measure the kerosene oil of both the tanks. So we have to find the maximum capacity of this container. With the help of this maximum capacity of the container, we can measure this tank and we can measure this tank oil capacity. Okay, students. So basically find the maximum capacity of a container. So with the help of this container, we can measure this tank and this tank also. Of both the tanks when used in exact number of times. So suppose if you have to find the maximum capacity of this container, so with the help of this container maximum capacity, we can measure this tank and this tank when we are multiplying with some number, or when we are using exact number of times. So suppose the exact number of times is, suppose it is we have to find the maximum capacity of this container, and when we are taking exact number of times, suppose if we are taking any number of times, that is 4 or 5 times, then what happens? By taking this 4 times, this tank must be filled. By taking with 5 times, this must be filled. Like that we have to do. So we have to find the maximum capacity of the container, so that by taking it some number of times, we can measure the whole 2 containers. Okay, students, this is our aim. So if you want to find the maximum capacity of these numbers, and this maximum capacity number is by which we have to multiply, by which we have to fill this, means this must be, so this must be a highest common factor. So this must be a highest common factor of both these tanks, student. So what is the finally what we can conclude is, basically one is 850 liters and another thing is the 80 liters. So we can have to measure these two with the help of this small tanker maximum capacity, with using its number of times. By using its number of times, we have to measure it also. For that, what is this number is, this is nothing but the highest common factor of these two things. So basically what is the highest common factor of these two things? That what we have to find it. So for a highest common factor, take 850 here, take 680 here. Now what we have to do, we have to find the factors. So starting with 2, that is 425, and like that after doing it, you will get the factors of 850 as like that. You will get the factors of 8 like that. If you see what are the common factors, 255 is the common factor. So 2, 5 and 2, 5, and there is 2 and there is 5 and 17. So 2, 5, 17 as the common factors. Okay, students. So finally 2, 5, 17 are the common factors. So finally the result is 170. So with the help of 170, you can measure it. So with the help of taking 170 with 5 times, and 170 with 4 times, we can get 850 here, we can get 680 here. So this is the thing, students, we have to do. So in this way you have to do this example and this example also. So in this example there are three students like you, and they are for one step, what the distance for one step, one is covering 80 centimeters, another is covering 85 centimeters, another is covering 90 centimeters. So they are covering in one step they are covering different distance, that is 80, one of them is 80, one of them is 85, one of them is 90 centimeters. So what is our aim? What is the minimum distance each should walk? Each should, so they are taking first step, and how many steps after covering they will cover, they have to do some steps, and after that they have to finally doing their steps, they will cover some distance, they will cover some distance. And what is that my minimum distance? What is the condition here? So that all can cover same distance. So after doing some steps, after doing, and all must have covered same distance. After doing some steps, all must have travel same distance. After doing some steps, all must get into the same distance. So for those some steps, what is the minimum distance they have to travel? Minimum from starting to 0 to what is the minimum distance? Which means they have started from one point and taken one step. For one step, one have given covered 80 centimeters, another has taken covered 85, another has taken covered 90 centimeters. So the minimum distance they have traveled is the minimum distance. So that at this point, all these cover, say all the three will cover same distance. So what is that minimum distance of the minimum distance they have to cover? So that is nothing but the least common multiple. So multiple of this, and suppose multiple of this and multiple of this and multiple of this must be same. Multiple of this, multiple of this, multiple of this, and all that gives the same value. Then only they will call the same distance. So which is nothing but the least common multiple of these three numbers. So what is it? Finally, the answer is nothing but LCM of 80, 85, 90. So what is that LCM? That LCM is nothing but 12,240 centimeters. So they have to travel 12,240 centimeters, so that only they have same distance. So that's it, students. Our chapter is completed. Chapter completed. What is now? Chapter completed. What is now? We are going to have the, so chapter is completed, students. Now we have the summary session. Summary. So playing with numbers is the first chapter, and first thing is the factors and multiples. So what is the factor? Basically, a factor of a number is an exact divisor of that number. So if you want to find out the factor for any number like that, we have to find out the exact divisor for that number. That by dividing with the designate number, the remainder is 0. So we called it as the exact divisor. That exact divisor is the factor. Exact divisor is the factor, students. And what is the multiple? So if you take 4 into 5 is equal to 20, and 4 and 5 are the factors for this number, and the multiple for this number, is 20. So multiple for this number is 20, the multiple for this number is 20 also. So we can say that a number is a multiple of each of its factors. A number is a multiple. So basically 20 is a multiple of 4 and multiple of 5. So 20 is a multiple of its factor. So what is the multiple of 4? That is the 20. Multiple of 5, that is the 50. Simply, if you want the multiple of 3, you can write the 3 table. If you want the multiple of 3, you can write the if you write the 3 table. If you want the multiple of 3, you can write the 4 table. If you want the multiple of 5, you can write the 5 table. Though our values in the 5 tables are the multiples of that number, students. And 1 is the factor of every number. Every number is a factor of itself. Every factor of a number is an exact divisor of that number, and every factor is less than or equal to given number, and a number of factor of a given number are finite, and every multiple of a number is greater than or equal to that number. Number of multiples of a given number is infinite, and every number is a multiple of itself. These are the things. So a number for which sum of all its factors is equal to twice the number is called a perfect number. What is a perfect number? If the sum of all its factors is equal to twice that number, then we call it as the perfect number, students. Next thing is the prime numbers and composite numbers. Prime numbers means if it is having factors 1 and itself, we call it as the prime numbers, and if it is having more than 2 factors, we call it as the composite numbers. And one more thing is the multiples of 2 are the even numbers, remaining are the odd numbers. And one more thing is the 2 is the even number and 2 is the prime number also. So 2 is the smallest prime number which is even, and every prime number except 2 is odd. Next is the test book for divisibility of numbers. Basically, what is the test? So for 10, we must have 0 in the ones place. For to divide with 5, it must have 0 or 5 in the one place. For to divide with 2, it must have 0, 2, 4, 6, 8 in the ones place. For divide with the sum of the digits must be all the multiples of 3. For divide with 6, it must divisible with 2 and 3, like that. For divide with 4, if there is any digit 3 digit number, so it must last 2 digits must be divisible by 4. And if you want to divide with 8, which is the more than 4 digits number, then its last 3 digits must be divisible by 8. If you want to divide with 8, sum of the digits must be divisible by 9. If you want to divide with 11, sum of the digits at odd places minus sum of the digits even places must be divisible by 0 or 11. So these are the divisibility rules, students. Next thing is the common factors and common multiples. So basically, two numbers having only one as a common factor are co-prime numbers. So basically, we know about factors. For given 4 and 18, these are the factors, and these two are the same in the both numbers. So we call 1 and 2 as the common factors. And in the case of 3 and 5, these are the multiples, and 15 is the same in both the multiples. So we call this the common multiple. And one more thing is, if any two numbers having 1 as the common factor, only 1 is the common factor, no other factors, we call it as the co-prime. Next is the sum or divisibility rules. What if any number is divisible by if any number is divisible by its number, then the factors of the divisor are also divisible by that number. And if any number is divisible by two co-prime members, then it is divisible by the product also. If any number is if two given numbers are divisible by a number, then the sum of the two numbers is also divisible by that number. If two numbers are divisible by a number, then difference of that number is also divisible by that number. Next thing is the prime factorization. We can write any number with its factors, we call it the factorization. And if you are further increase the factorization method, finally you will arrive at the prime numbers. We call it as the prime factorization. Okay, students. So if you are dividing it with 2 prime numbers, we call it as the prime factorization. Next thing is the highest common factor. So we know common factors, and common factors, and highest of the common factor is the HCF, highest common factor. Next thing is the least common multiple. Basically, you know common multiples, and least of the common multiples is the least common multiple. For that, you can find the common multiples and then find out what is the same and the least one. That is the one process. Another process is the finding the prime factorization. And after that, what we can do is the product of the prime factors which occurs how many times, that will give the LCM. And another thing is the finding the doing the prime factorization for all the numbers at the same time. In which way also you can get the LCM. And next thing is that we have solved some problems. That's why, students, our chapter is completed, summary is also completed. If you like the video, don't forget to subscribe. Sreenath, have a nice day, keep smiling, bye bye.